Welcome to another edition of the Board Game Classroom. Today's board game is going to be an all-time favorite of mine, and that is Memoir 44. Memoir 44 is one of my favorite games because it's part of the Richard Borg set of Command and Colors, and this is one of my #1 games that fall into that set. It is a lot of fun. It's historical, so I get to use this one in the classroom. It's really easy to play, and the production quality of this game is beautiful. So let's take a look at Memoir 44. One of the things I like best about Memoir 44 is the board. The board is simple. It is double-sided. If you take a look at it, there's two sides. There's a beach side for like the Omaha beach landings, and there's more of a plain board, and you get to lay tiles down before the game starts to set up, and those tiles represent different things. They might be hills, they might be forests, they might have buildings and rivers, and that really allows you to adjust the board differently to what's going on. It also, like the Command and Colors, like other Command and Colors games, you get cards, and the cards let you do different things. So, for example, Assault allows you to issue an order to all the units on the right flank. Order all units on your right flank. So if you're on this side, this is your right flank. If you're on that side, that's your right flank. And that really allows for some interesting gameplay. The other thing is, you have all your troops. And the troops are great because they're all individual soldiers. And you line them up in your hexes, and they all have different movements, different things that they can do, different abilities. They might even have some fortified hexes there, which makes the game even more fun because then you can really adjust the terrain and what's going on. You might even have tanks in your battle, and that really makes it fun to get the tanks involved in it. And when it comes down to combat, you get to roll dice, and these are great custom dice. They feel nice, they're painted nicely, and the symbols are really easy to read, and you can read them and you can know exactly what you need to do on that with that system. The rule book is pretty simple to look at and read. It feels scary because it's so thick, but really the rules only take up 1/4 of the rule book. Most of the rule book is setups for different battles. You can take a look at that. Those battles really make this game fun because you get to take a side and you get to reenact a battle as much as possible to do in a game, and that makes for some exciting gameplay. There are tons of expansions to Memoir 44. I don't even have them all yet. Someday I will get them all. So we can do different things, and I'll review each expansion. This game allows for many uses in the classroom as you get to go along. Memoir 44 is a favorite of mine. It's got all the pieces that makes it a good game for me. It's got the command cards. Those command cards allow, like I said before, allow you to determine your movement. It's a little bit random, and I've heard some complaints about that, but I kind of like that randomness. It kind of adds to the flavor of making a decision based on the information you had, and that kind of, for me, fits the theme of the game really well. The dice are great. They're easy to read, they're colorful, they're easy to roll. Everything about them is great. The rule book is amazing because it lays out the rules very simply. Days of Wonder is pretty good about doing that, and Richard Borg did a great job with the Command and Colors system. But the great thing about the rulebook is also you get to pick your battles. It gives you a small little historical background on it, and that in the classroom allows us to talk about those backgrounds. It has what you need to place on the board, so being able to list out all the things that is needed to play this game. Each battle is listed out for you, and that is pretty nice to be able to do that. The board is easily reused, so it's not always the same. It allows you to do this game several times. This game has a ton of replayability, and then when you start talking about all the expansions I'll later review, that even gets further into it. Plus the toy factor of this game. You know, as a boy, I love playing with tanks and army men and all those things. And what do you have in this game? Army men and tanks and artillery and all kinds of things. And expansions just add to that to get more armies and more troops, more weapons, more everything. That just makes this really pop. It's a great production by Days of Wonder. I'm glad it's still in print. I'm glad it's still popular. This is super easy to teach in the classroom and get this to the table. And to play it, you can get a battle done in one class period. If you sit down and you can keep the kids focused, you have to do it in teams. Someday in the future, I'm going to put 2 of my games together to do a nice big campaign setting. We'll talk about that in a future review as well. So I would totally recommend Memoir 44 to be used in the classroom. Everything about it makes for a good, enjoyable game. So if you are looking for something to get in the classroom, try Memoir 44 sometime. Thank you for watching another edition of the Board Game Classroom. Have a great day gaming.